Got this big wart on my ass. That's what I want to talk about.
Oh boy. That's it. I'm out.
This is Flip Flop.
Welcome back to Flick Flops, the podcast where we dig into the best and worst of cinema. Today we're discussing the latest entry in the not so high side of pharmaceutical industry with Pain Hustlers, the 2023 film from David Yates. In the movie, Emily Blunt stars as a down and out mother looking for a better life when she meets Chris Evans and ends up in the pharmaceutical sales and deep in the middle of a federal criminal conspiracy. Is this movie just what the doctor ordered, or is it a prescription for disaster? Find out this week on Flick Flops.
Flirting with disaster.
I was like, what are you doing? Is that is that Satchmo or something? Are you like,
not often, Gary, you can pull out a timely Molly Hatchet reference.
I thought you were riffing some jazz trumpet.
If you dig deep, and I know that's not what our podcast is about, but if you go deep into the Molly Hatchet song, you'll hear. Is my mic on, by the way?
I hear you.
Okay, good. I thought I turned it off accidentally. If you dive deep into the song "Flirting with Disaster," there's this part at the end where the guy's like, I know that from riding in my brother's 73 Nova to high school way too many times. Pain Hustlers, it is, Gary.
Yes, and we're a little. Apologize, we're a little late on this episode. I'm trying to fight the plague. Apparently, I picked it up in Chicago. And don't go to Chicago, you'll get the plague. And so my voice this is about as good as it's been. So we're just now being able to get to this, but apologies.
It's because you hated Harry Carey's, Gary.
That's right, Harry Carey. I can't even do voices.
Hey, Gary, if you were hot, would you eat yourself? Yeah. I know I would.
Maybe that's what it was. Too many times doing that when we were there.
Let's talk about this movie. I didn't know anything about this movie. Gary calls me and says, "Hey, man, we should watch this movie." I said, "Done and done." What I've got info-wise, Rotten Tomatoes has this bad boy sitting at the audience has it at the critics have it at 24. Audience has it at 69. This dances with Rotten, I guess, based on the critics.
Well, the critics definitely rotten, according to them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fresh with the fans, the audience, but you know. But box office and budget info I don't really have because it wasn't a box office. It was released via Netflix. I do know that Netflix paid $50 million for the global rights to release this film.
Wow.
That seems like a lot of money.
Yeah.
For a film that is rotten, so to speak. So this was written by a guy named Wells Tower, and I looked him up. I really couldn't find anything of note for this gentleman. It's the first thing that we'll know him for. He has written other things, but
sounds like a nice set of apartments that you might.
The Wells Tower. I'm on the 5th floor of the Wells Tower.
Yeah.
Where the fire trucks can still get to me if there's a fire, so I feel good about that. Yeah. It's just directed by David Yates.
Yeah.
He has a little bit of a pedigree. He's known. I mean, I didn't know him, but I looked him up. He directed 4 of the Harry Potter films.
That's right.
And he has a little bit of he has some stuff to his credit, producer wise, director wise, and as the great George Costanza would say, yada yada yada. You can quote me on that if you need to, or you don't.
I'm not. This could be a very quick edit. There will be no quoting.
So that's all I got on that information, Gary. I didn't even do my numbers thing, did I? I just went right into it.
That's all right. Numbers.
Numbers were there. That was it. That was the numbers.
That's numbers. We don't need to do our little thing.
Yeah, I mean, Gary's sick. We're just trying to knock something out here real quick.
Yeah.
Gary, do you have a synopsis on this thing real quick?
Actually, I did. I wrote something for this. It's very brief.
Break it down, bro.
But I know we actually discussed this movie when we saw each other last week. Outside of what we normally do, because I also have a connection sort of to this film. But I'll bring that up here after we discuss. So, superhero films have flooded the market now for decades, leading to what many call superhero fatigue. Yet, in my view, an even more rapid and severe weariness stems from the onslaught of big pharma narratives. This film's not without its merits. However, I find myself growing weary of this genre. Why? Because these stories often lack a true victor while showcasing a multitude of defeated characters, mirroring real life issues exasperated by an industry that prioritizes profit over the preservation of life. At its core, the film spotlights the noble pursuit of alleviating pain, particularly for cancer patients, challenging the integrity of the Hippocratic Oath. This ethos is quickly overshadowed by the stark reality of corporate desperation, bankruptcy, and the relentless quest for profit. The purported non-addictive nature of the medication is exposed as a fallacy, a mere marketing ploy that disregards the plight of the innocent in favor of financial gain. I wrote this when I considered trying to explain why, although the movie is a good movie, there's been a lot of these lately. And I think the fact that there's just nobody that wins in these scenarios, based on real life or not, and I believe this one was based on real life.
Yes.
There's just no winner in it. And there's a lot of dead bodies left behind. And when they're talking about that, especially talking about people that are looking for help, it's sad to see that. And I know that these kind of movies expose that and bring that to the consciousness of people. It's just been so much lately that it's like, wow. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Sadly, nothing will change.
And that also.
Like, it's great when you bring attention to something, but you hope that it will affect change. And this sadly, it does. I was going to touch on this, so I'm glad you brought it up. I agree. This movie was good. I enjoyed it. It's not a flop in my opinion.
No,
it was good. It also makes me angry when I watch these films. I think we all can attest to somebody in our life that has suffered through something, and in some cases have died, and you get mad because you're like, why can't we as an industry, this pharmaceutical, why can't you fix this? And you realize that they truly don't care. It's purely about money.
Right.
And granted, I'm using a broad brush, that I'm sure there are some people who do really care and they're trying to find cures or ways. I understand that. In general, I think this movie, and probably, I think we talked about Dope Sick, which I haven't finished watching.
Yeah.
It just highlights the greed of these companies at the cost of people's lives. They don't give a crap about whether the medicine helps them. They don't give a crap that these things are wildly addictive. And if it leads people into not just addiction to these things, but they'll move on to meth and heroin because it's cheaper and easier to get. And then most people end up overdosing on stuff like that. And it's a sad part of society. And I don't mean to be Debbie Downer here. I wanted to at least talk about what I didn't like about this film. And that was really it.
And I feel like you should know that going in.
Yeah, the film was good. And she was fantastic in the movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of Chris Evans here.
Yeah.
I don't dislike. He's neither here nor there for me. I thought he played this car, and the guy that's behind your head, Gary, the owner, that guy I thought was eccentrically great at what he did.
That's Garcia, Andy Garcia, isn't it?
I believe it was. I didn't look up the credits. I kept thinking to myself, I was like, God, I bet that's Andy Garcia. But he was great. So anyway, that's the only thing I got to say about it. And I made a note, and I told you about it. The one little thing I noticed is her little girl in the movie is the same little girl from the movie we have previously talked about, 65.
Yeah.
So
which I didn't catch. So that was a nice catch.
It's a little callback. It's weird. We all have those things that catch our eye. And as soon as she popped on screen, I'm like, I know her from. And I do I pause and I'm like, yep, that's it. I got it. And I go to IMDb to make sure I'm right. I'm like, yeah, damn straight. I called that.
Fact check yourself.
To nobody in the room. I was like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
If somebody was here, I'd have told them I was right. But anyway, that again, good movie. I did enjoy it. I hate the topic that it's about. So
and that's what I mean. I just think I'm tired. Like, I don't feel like I want to watch any more of these type of movies. It's just too much.
A little depressing too.
This photo, I'm not sure if this particular photo is or not, but I will tell you that a friend of mine did the still photography on this movie.
Get out of here.
Ryan Douglas from
Oh my
Cincinnati
gosh.
Radio. For those of you who know,
I
remember Brian Douglas from Q102. Cincinnati people only. But
his career's really taken off, hasn't it, in photography?
Yeah. And he's awesome. He's really, really good. And yeah, I'm just impressed by it. So.
An incredibly nice guy. I don't know if you remember, Gary, but you helped facilitate him doing some DJ work at one of my weddings.
Oh, did I do that?
Yeah, he stopped by for a few minutes there, and he DJ'd a few songs, and then he skedaddled. But it was very cool. I could say I had a Q102 DJ at my wedding.
Yeah, Brian's a good guy, and deserves all the work he's getting, and kudos to him.
Interesting, yeah, that he went from being a very successful DJ to working photography, because I've seen a lot of his stuff on Facebook.
Yeah.
Not that we're friends, but I mean, I see stuff pop up in my feed every now and then in his name, and I'm like, I know. I mean, I don't know him, but I know who he is. I've met him a couple of times.
Yeah.
Through you, but yeah.
Well, shout out to Brian. So
do you want to do?
Well, real quick, I looked through the reviews to just try to find something that was similar to my viewpoint, even though this is a rotten review. But Keith Garlington from Keith in the Movies, he put Pain Hustlers is overlong and at times frustratingly dull, but perhaps its biggest offense lies in its focus. The movie is so honed in on its disgusting wealthy profiteers that the true victims, the people who actually died, barely have a voice. I disagree that it was dull, and that I really didn't think the movie was that bad at all, and I'm well acted. But as far as the note about the victims and that I have to agree with. There's very little attention put on that. It's more on just the Emily Blunt's character, really, and then I don't want to give anything away in case people are watching it, but the other people involved and all of that.
Yeah.
So
I don't have a review. I didn't even dig into them because, I usually dig for rotten. I didn't have I don't want to put people off of the movie.
Yeah.
Just what we said. It's a sad topic in a sense, but the film is I thought it was well done. I think critics crap on it, and that's fine. That's their job. But this critic is not.
Well, what do you? Let's see what you put for a rating on that one.
I'm gonna do I gave it.
Jeffro.
I forgot. We've so long have been doing yours.
Yeah, you got to find it now, right?
Can you do 2 pills for this one, Gary? No. I give it this. I give it 2. Only because, like I said, I thought the film. I was entertained. I wasn't waiting for it to end. I wasn't looking at my watch. I was like, yeah. I'm getting into this, and I was rooting for Emily Blunt's character to kind of, to succeed. So but like I always say, what I tell everybody to watch
the ratings. Probably should reiterate the ratings.
Oh, go ahead. I need to take a sip. You do it.
Andy gives it 2 poos, which is really just. You don't want to have too many of these things. We do our rating system backwards. The more poos, or in my case, toilet papers you have, the worse the movie is.
Right. So you want a low number. It's like golf. You want a lower number. The lower the number, the better we think it is.
There's creative. Anyway, with that said, I too, Andy, gave it 2 TP. Well, not 2 poos, but 2 TPs. So
you got a physical prop, do you not, Gary?
2 of these. There you go. 2 of these. Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. That's it. It's a decent film. I think the 24, I think, is being harsh on it. The 24% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think so.
69 is. I think that's roughly fair. It's not great, but it's good. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree. Well, that'll wrap this episode up. Sorry for the delay again, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what you thought of Pain Hustlers. Have you seen it? If you've not, check it out. We both agree that it's a worth a watch. Now, if you have people that have suffered from this type of thing, big pharma and that kind of thing, it might not be your speed. If you've seen a lot of stuff like this, it may not be your speed. It may just be a little overkill, but it was a well done movie. Yeah, well done movie. So thanks a lot, and we appreciate it. And then we have a final note. I did want to mention one thing. I think we have somebody joining the Tummy Twin Media Group family. New podcast.
We do. We are bringing a new podcast on board. It's a podcast. It's called Tangent Station. It has two guys, Kevin and Willis, and they have a podcast that it's like a show about nothing. They go off the rails, so to speak. The show can start one place and end someplace completely different, and it's fascinating and entertaining to see where it's going and how long Kevin can go before he just.
Now it was an audio podcast before. So it's not new, but it's new to us, and they're going to branch out into video now, correct?
They are. They're trying to expand their audience, and they want to get into the world of video podcasting and YouTube. And we kind of reached out to offer our help, and they're going to join the Tummy Twins Media family. And so, please, if you like just different podcasts, I mean, I'm a big fan of the show. That's why I reached out to Kevin. So hopefully some people will watch us and jump over there and get a kick out of them. And if you don't like looking at them, just go back and listen to them. It'll also be available as an audio.
Yeah, I look forward to them coming on board. Kevin's been
hopefully within the next
really good friend for a long time. So
next couple of weeks, we should be able to launch it. We're doing some finalizing production. I was working on post-production stuff all day today with it. So
awesome.
Yay! We're going to Hawaii. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Gary with the Chicago.
Yay! Gary's hitting and recording. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tummy Twins Media.